Hello and welcome to this podcast edition of Sam's Alternatives with me, Sam, episode 15. In a few minutes' time, I'll be chatting to Melbourne Metal band Glow, a great band from Melbourne. I saw them a week or so ago at Nighthawks with Total Buzzkill and Deadweight 80. Also saw them last year with, of course, Harroway, Vilify and Bitterkind at the Curtain. I thought I'd just jump on a couple of minutes early because there's actually a lot happening with new music that's been released in the last week or so. Stacks of brand new music. Total Buzzkill dropped Empty Words. Ghost Seeker dropped Glow and Decay featuring Ione Heckenberg, of course, from Ocean Sleeper. Judo Chopper Lumens released their new EPs. Citadel, Singe, among other bands, all dropped new music. Got a few interviews coming up as well. So, next Tuesday, the 22nd of April, Connor and possibly more members of No Life, New Zealand band, will be jumping on for a chat. Also, Saturday, the 26th of April, Ez from Spacegoat and, of course, Heretic Frequency will be jumping on for a chat. Of course, Sunday, May 4, Dan McDougall, who does a podcast called Volume Dealer, will be on the podcast. Then Friday the 16th of May, Terry Truern will be on the podcast. Terry does Time for Terry on 3BBRFM on Wednesday afternoons between 3 and 5. And then Saturday the 24th of May, of course, a Melbourne metal band Lean In. Lucas, possibly more members of the band will be jumping on for a chat. Also, I can tell you, New Age, so Liz, Cole and Graham will be jumping on again in May. So a date hasn't been announced yet for the rescheduled interview, but it'll be sometime in May. I did send through, I think the Thursday, the 8th of May was the date, and just wait to hear back from them. I don't honestly know what happened on Sunday with that interview because it came through on my laptop, but I can't rewatch it, I can't upload it. So, technology, it happens to the best of us, doesn't it? We've also got a couple of gigs coming up in the next few weeks, including Morbid Mondays at the Old Bar on Monday the 21st of April. We have Rum Runners and Common Evil. Common Evil, of course, from Gippsland, Traralgon, Sale area. Then, of course, on Friday the 25th of April, sorry, my bad, it is Body Prison, their album release at the Graveyard. They're playing with Seventh Circle and Bitterkind, who I saw on Saturday, with, of course, False Dichotomy, also Archangel, and the band that is, of course, Detester at Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar. They were awesome. So if you want to get along to Body Prison's album release, make sure you get down nice and early to the Graveyard because there's limited tickets available. For those that don't know, Graveyard is in Sydney Road. It's not the biggest venue in Melbourne, so yeah, there's limited tickets, of course. Then on Friday, May 2, at the Workers' Club, Ticked Off Abduction, The City, OCD band, Where the Devil and Alienist. We've also got Friday the 9th of May at Nighthawks. It is Tile, All Regards, and also to Newgate Crowd, who are from Adelaide. Just heaps of gigs happening. There's a heap of brand new music. Funnily enough, Newgate Crowd, the Owen Guns, and also Ironstone all have new music dropping this week. And April has been an amazing month for new music. Those new releases that I mentioned just earlier in this brief chat, that's not even a half of them in the last 2 weeks. That's only about a tenth of them. There's just been that much new music that has dropped. Jackson's in the lobby from Glow, so I'll let Jackson in. Hello, Jackson.
Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, good man.
Nah,
Very good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just here in Warragul. Funnily enough, you're from my neck of the woods, but a bit further down, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sick.
you're in Newborough or Maui?
Moe, yeah.
Yeah. I knew you were in Gippsland somewhere because Sofu, I used to volunteer at Unify, is from Maui, and she said, "Oh, Jackson from Glow's also from Maui." I'm like, "No way."
Yeah.
Uh,
Small world.
Small world. There's a lot of good Gippsland bands and musicians from this area that a lot of people don't realise that actually are from this area. I mean, Darcy Baker, who used to be in a band called Terror, is from Warrigal. I mean, Excuse for an Exit, Cheapskate, Ocean Sleeper,
Yeah,
just
so many.
yeah. No. But so we've actually
Awesome.
met. Me and Jackson actually did meet at
Yeah.
Nighthawks last week. So it's interviewing people I have actually met tonight. So same with Matt, because I actually interviewed Matt with his old band Inflicted about 2 years ago, which is hard to believe.
Yeah. Wow.
I think
There you
time
go.
just flies. But we'll wait for the others to join before I get into the questions. Don't want to put Jackson on the spot right here.
Mate. Yeah, Matt should be in a second. So Josh and Doug couldn't make it tonight,
That's all right.
so it'll just be Matt and I,
All good.
unfortunately.
Ah,
But yeah, we'll
it is
crush it.
what it is, as they say.
That's right.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to sound harsh, and please, if anyone is watching or listening to this and hears me say this, sometimes it's better with less than more, as uh,
I completely
because
understand you.
because Jackson, I've
Yeah.
done a couple of interviews where there's been 5 people on, and it's everyone's talking over everyone.
Yeah. That would not be easy.
No, and given also how short notice this interview was as well, I'm surprised that anyone from Glow was available on a Tuesday night.
I know. Well, look, if I didn't have work tomorrow, which is the case, then more than happy to jump on. If I had work, might have just been Matt.
Yeah. So what do you do for your job, Jackson?
So I'm a disability support worker. Yeah. So
That's-
I really enjoyed the job.
Yep.
It's really
I,
obviously I want to do music full time, but
we could get into
kind
that, but we'll leave that one. But I get the feeling like disability support worker would have its challenges as a worker, but a lot of good times and good things about it as well. Seeing, people get out that maybe have an intellectual disability or confined to a wheelchair and helping them out. It's very an important job to do. Ah, Matt's here. I better let him
yeah.
in, not shun him out of the conversation. Hello, Matt.
G'day.
Hey.
Here he is.
How
How we
are we
doing?
this evening?
Not too bad, not too bad. How you doing?
Good, thanks. So, I was just saying to Jackson, me and Matt, no strangers to podcast interviews. The only difference
No,
this time, it's over WebEx, not as an audio one.
indeed. And it's a different band this time, but
Yeah.
Yes. Funny thing is, Matt, I actually went back and listened to the one you did with Shane from Inflicted 2 years ago nearly, which is a little bit hard to believe that was
yeah,
2 years.
it's crazy to believe that music came out 2 years ago now.
But of course, Matt and Jackson, both from Melbourne Metal band Glow, who I only saw not even 2 weeks ago at Nighthawks with Total Buzzkill
Yeah,
and Deadweight, which was a sick night.
crazy show.
Loved
That
it.
was so much fun.
Got home
Mhm.
about 2:30, which was a bit of an effort. But
Oof.
Yep.
Sam, shut up.
Same.
Jackson's further away than you. Do not whinge.
No, I got back about the same time.
Yeah. Now, I'm hoping you didn't work the Saturday after the gig, Jackson, because that would have been, yeah, no.
No way. I did not. I actually went camping.
Ah,
Oof.
So still stressful, but not as bad as work.
no. Where'd you go
I didn't have too
camping?
much of a time. So I went out to the back of Nuji.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
So yeah, went out there on a mate's his land, and yeah, just sort of had a good night. It was pretty good.
Yep. No,
Sounds
New
pretty
G's
nice.
a nice little area.
Nice
Yeah, I
little
went to
spot.
the pub for one, so that was really good.
The Outpost. Oh
Only
no,
down,
yeah.
sorry, the only downside I was going to say was I either had gastro or food poisoning this past week.
Oh,
So
Oh,
whatever that
oh,
was, not
oh,
good.
pub food's
well,
killed you.
Sam will
Yeah,
not name drop places in New G. Sam can't think of many places that actually are restaurants in New G, so we won't name drop on here. Otherwise, I've been a lot of shit. Uh, but no, that was a sick night. It's such a small venue. I'd forgotten how small Nighthawks actually was. It literally might be the
I know.
smallest venue in Melbourne.
Yeah,
I've
I didn't think I'd ever been there, but I actually have before. Not to see a band or anything, but just one night I walked in there when I was down there with a mate at another show. We were watching Alt.
Good
I'm
yeah,
not sure of the
love the
band.
venue,
boys.
but it was such a great show. And afterwards, yeah, we went down to this bar, Nighthawks, and wasn't very inviting that night. There wasn't many people in there, so I was kind of like, but it
You
was
just need to
actually
be there when a show is on.
exactly. It turned out to be such a ripper night.
Mm.
So yeah,
Oh, I love the old boys. Adelaide born, and well, I mean, how big they've become in the last 2 years. I mean, they're playing with Fame on Fire at 170 Russell in just
I
over a
know they're
month.
huge now.
Yeah.
that's so.
But for those that don't know Nighthawks is literally capacity's not even 100, I don't think. It's probably
80,
90.
I think, or 90.
About 80, 90. Yep.
So I was sort of thinking, okay, what's a similar one that's maybe a little bit more well known in Melbourne or outer suburbs? And I feel like when Young Street in Frankston was open, I feel like Young Street and Nighthawks would almost be about the same size. They're not very,
Well, maybe about the same, yeah.
yeah.
I
Because
mean,
I was
if
thinking
you, I don't
bed.
know if any,
Oh,
I was going to
sorry.
say, I don't know if any of you have been to A Whole Lot of Love when it was open in Brunswick East, but I played there and that was about the same size, maybe a touch smaller,
Yeah, that's
except it had a much smaller stage. It had a much smaller stage, but they're kind of like, it was still like 80, 85 cap venue.
I
Yeah.
think also with Whole Lot of Love, the time I went there, there was a 5 piece band. It was like, I don't think a 5 piece band is going to fit on the stage at Whole Lot of Love.
No.
But,
Tiny stage, like it's a squeeze to get 4-piece bands on there. Or was, I should say.
yes. I'm surprised no one else has bought Whole Lot of Love. I mean, someone bought Bendy, but I guess there's more
Hmm.
capacity and
More
more,
history behind that.
yeah. But also with Whole Lot of Love, it's sort of like, it sort of was not out in the middle of nowhere. It was more just that there weren't many live venues or anything around it apart from a Macca's,
Hmm.
really.
It was out opposite side, Brunswick East, kind of out of the way. So not many people swung around that far north up Lygon Street, I suppose.
No, a couple of good memories from Whole Lot of Love. I remember I saw a Melbourne band by the name of Forklift Assassins. The first time I'd ever seen them at Whole
Yeah.
Lot of Love.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, good memories of live music at most venues in Melbourne. And Nighthawks actually is
Oh,
for 2 from 2, because the one I saw last year was like that was awesome, but yeah, I mean the one Friday 2 weeks ago was even better.
killer.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'd not even heard of Nighthawks until we got booked there, and I'm like, all right, where is this place? Oh, I know those venues. I've never heard of this one though.
Yeah.
And then you look straight across the road from Nighthawks, and the Bendy's right there.
And then Bendy goes across the road, and it's like, oh, we should have been playing there.
And Tote's
I know,
actually
right?
not that far away from
Hmm.
Nighthawks either, but a bit further
Only
down.
another block or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, this episode will be uploaded onto YouTube. Hopefully, not
Yes,
like
indeed.
what happened on Sunday. I won't get into that. I don't know what happened then, but
Didn't work, did it?
No, I was like, what the hell? It's saying it's gone to my files in my computer and I can't rewatch it. I can't upload. I couldn't do anything. Like, what the hell?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, that just happens sometimes. You get one in 100 that just doesn't work, and you got to go around again, I suppose.
Yep.
One of the members of the band made a smart ass comment and said, "You did press record." I'm like, all right. So I have pressed
Yeah, that was
record,
Good, good.
and it has gone to my computer as well, not to iCloud, because that could have been
Okay,
the other
awesome.
yeah.
reason. But yeah, so this
Ooh,
episode actually will be uploaded probably even earlier than this time tomorrow. It's sort of late
awesome.
morning, early afternoon, somewhere in that proximity.
Sounds
Sounds
pretty
good.
good.
And also, as usual, I put a Spotify playlist together of local bands, and Glow have 3 songs on there. Now, if I can remember them, it's Worm Tongue,
Nice.
Reptile, Bad Juju, I think. Don't hold me to the
Yeah, good
last
Awesome.
one.
songs. Good songs.
But
Yeah,
no,
they're great.
no, I love the EP. It's an amazing EP from start to finish. They're probably my 3 favourite
Oh yeah,
songs, but I love them all. So
Yeah,
backing
that
it.
is a very common pick. I would say a lot of my friends say the same thing. One of those 3 songs are always their favorite.
Reptile and Juju always get a lot of love, and Cavalia, which you didn't mention.
no,
Mm.
I actually as I do every time, I go back and listen to the band's EP or previous single release album the day of the interview. Everyone says do it earlier. I'm like, if I do it 2 days, 3 days before the interview, it's not fresh in my mind.
You're
With
gonna forget half the songs already.
yeah,
Yep.
and for example, if Jackson or Matt asked me a question about the EP and I listened to it a week ago, I'd be like, not a good.
Uh, which song was that?
Yeah, probably that would be the perfect response, Matt. I'd probably be like, next question. But yeah, and funnily enough, for those that don't actually know, not only is it an awesome song by Glow, there is actually a Melbourne rock punk band called Bad Juju as well.
Oh
There
yeah.
you go.
Huh.
So,
I
That's
feel
but
pretty
like
cool.
I feel like I'd vaguely heard that somewhere, but still cool. But cool song, cool band, I suppose.
now, of course, Melbourne and things are known for having same titles. I mean, Whole Lot of Love, you mentioned, Matt, is a Led Zeppelin song, of course. Bad
Yep.
Decisions, Bar. Obviously, Bad Decisions, a pretty well known song by Red Hook, but I think if everyone got into trouble for naming their bar after a song or an album, there wouldn't be many bars left open.
God no. God no.
You're right about that.
But no, and Matt obviously knows the gist of these interviews. Jackson, I'll give you a bit of a
Yep.
rundown. It's more of a chat, honestly, than a interview. I don't call it an interview now; it's just a chat. But we'll find
Sweet.
out a bit about Glow. Then, of course, Jackson and Matt have the floor. You get to ask me a question,
Wonderful.
and nothing's
Sweet.
off
Wonderful.
limits either.
Oh,
Swearing is allowed as well because I am probably the
Cool.
biggest culprit of it. So you'll probably hear a few f bombs throughout this interview.
All right. That's good. That's good to know. I don't have to censor myself too much.
All right. Well, how did Glow form as a band?
Jackson, you want to take this one?
sure thing, man. Great question. So basically, obviously, Matt and I weren't in the band when it formed. So we're kind of going off what the others have told us. So basically, they started during COVID. So Josh, the other guitarist in the band, he hadn't been doing a whole lot of music for a while. He ended up just kind of getting the itch to play again, basically. Um, and so he asked his mate Rick, who was our previous bassist, to like if he wanted to, start up a band. And so he said he was pretty keen for it. Josh had actually told him he had some songs ready, which he didn't. And so Rick was like, "Oh yeah, sweet, just get back to me with those songs." And so, fun fact, he actually wrote Reptile in 10 minutes. So the basic song Reptile was written in 10 minutes, which is
And
pretty
then all
cool.
the fancy flair was all added later.
Yeah,
That's pretty quickly written, a 10-minute song. Wow.
I know. He's pretty good at it.
Josh is a
So
great songwriter, so he can
yeah,
bang together ideas very quickly, and then it's all adding everything in after that.
yeah. But that's basically how they formed. They got their other mate Mario, who was the previous second guitarist, and the other drummer Liam, who has left the band now as well. Yeah, they got them all together, but it took a bit of time to get it sort of off the ground due to lockdown and all that. So, but eventually they got it and started playing some shows.
Yes, that dreaded COVID. The word that gets
Mm.
brought up every time now.
Every single show.
Yep.
But unfortunately, most stories in bands and general of over the last 5 years have to involve COVID in some
Yeah.
way.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, it's
obviously, a lot of the newer projects have formed during COVID, is just like mates writing songs together. And then when all the lockdowns have been lifted, everyone's been like, all right, let's start recording, let's put shows on, let's do all this. And now you've got the big surge of bands in like the kind of, like 50K monthly kind of range that are all doing these crazy things that all
yeah,
kicked off in the same kind of time period as us.
yeah.
And I feel like, had it not been for COVID, some of these bands that now are big in Australia, they could have been big had it not been for COVID, probably 3 or 4 years before now. Like, I feel like
Oh, yeah.
Alt, had it not been for COVID, Alt would be one of the biggest bands in this country right now, which they are.
That's,
Mm,
yeah, I'm so surprised they're not bigger,
mm.
and or weren't bigger sooner. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah,
And I mean, even in Melbourne, how many great bands are coming out of Melbourne, regional Victoria? I mean, look at bands like Gloom in the Corner, Starve, Body Prison, Ocean
Yeah.
Sleeper, Mirrors. I mean,
yeah,
where have they come
so many.
from?
Yeah, out of the woodworks.
I thought I'd throw in a couple of Gippy bands, given that two of the
Yeah,
three on this
Nice.
meeting are from
Nice.
Gippsland.
As you
no, that's,
should. As you should.
Even though everyone's going to tell me Carl's the only one from Ocean Sleeper that still lives in Gippsland, still from Gippsland
Still
originally.
counts. Josh is the only Glow member that still lives in Ballarat, but we're still half considered a Ballarat band, so it's
I
fine.
was just about to say that.
So technically, two of the four members at the moment from Glow are actually from regional Victoria.
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
that's right.
but it's easy just to say you're
Down
from
south,
Melbourne.
Yeah.
exactly.
Easier to get shows pulled. Easier for us to get booked for shows if we're like a Melbourne band, because there's so many venues in Melbourne. There's only a couple in Ballarat, a couple in Gippsland or whatever, and you're much more likely to get booked for shows if you're a Melbourne band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I am the idea of playing a show down here someday.
Oh God,
Soon.
please, that'd be
I
fucking awesome.
would love it to happen in Traralgon. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking sick.
The deck. I'd love to see the glow at the deck. That would be sick.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
I'd actually talk to his name's Brody. He's from
Common Evil.
Common Evil.
Common Evil. I don't know why I blanked on their band name. I was just talking to him that night after the gig. I saw him at Officer. Just ran into him. I was talking with him. We were like, yeah, we need to play a show soon, man. I don't know how we haven't already.
That'll be sick. Crazy Bill.
Yeah.
I reckon there's a lot of bands playing shows. I reckon Common Evil are probably a band that seems to book a show literally every 4 weeks. And sometimes even
It's insane.
sooner.
Yeah. They just keep getting them.
It's the grind. That's what
wild.
you got to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're
that's
working on.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry, you
mate.
go.
I was just saying, I'm pretty sure they're working still on some more songs and stuff, but their song that they released, that single, is so good.
Oh yeah.
So good.
And of course, Gippy Boys as well. Again, another name drop from Gippsland. Well, sorry, excluding Jack, the guitarist who actually is based in Sydney, but everyone else is from Gippsland. That's what I was saying. But no, yeah, I've pretty much been there from almost day one with Common Evil. I saw them last year, I think, for the first time. I was like, this band sounds really good. That sort of thrash metal sound that I
Yeah.
really dig. And yeah, then it's like, I mean, Victoria at the moment, one of the best states for Aussie music, if not the best at the moment. I think they're throwing
Oh yeah.
out all different kinds of bands.
Absolutely.
We've got a crazy music scene here. Yeah, not just in Melbourne, but the whole state. Bands coming from every corner and just doing some crazy shit.
Mm.
Yeah. I remember just listening to a band that I really like, and then I eventually find out they're from Melbourne. I'm like, of course they are.
It's yeah, it's like there's a few bands that are from other states technically that Melbourne sort of latched onto, like Alpha Wolf and Wind Waker.
Yeah.
We're trying to
Yep.
take them, and it's like Alpha Wolf are technically from Tassie, so give
Yep.
Tassie something.
Yeah, they haven't got much.
I think Wind Waker, or some of them were from Wagga Wagga, which is New South Wales,
Wagga, yeah.
Yeah.
but close enough to Melbourne. Well, much closer
It's
than
close. It's closer to Melbourne than Sydney, so it counts.
That's true.
But yeah, nah. And who was the band? I was surprised when I first heard them that were from Melbourne. I think it might have been Thornhill because I don't know why I thought Thornhill were from
Yeah.
Sydney for some reason, and then they
I thought that too.
yeah,
I thought that too. And maybe I had them mistaken for another band, but for a long while, I thought they were from Sydney as well.
and
Maybe I
then
was mistaking them for North Lane or something.
yeah, or Polaris maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, Polaris. Yeah, Thornhill is probably one of my favorite bands of all time. They
uh,
just released such good songs.
I'm really starting to dig Bodies. Like I loved it
Yeah.
at first, but now I'm just like, yeah, no, this is the Thornhill everyone wants to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone said that when they did, like, after the Dark Pool album, everyone was like, oh, you gotta do more stuff like that. And then they've sort of brought out Heroin, and then it's kind of like the new album's kind of like a mix of those two vibes, like, with also their newer stuff. So they've kind of melded everything together, which is really awesome.
And honestly, when they first released Not Obsession, the second single from the album, Nerve, I was like, this is really, really different, but I really dig it.
Nerve is
Yeah,
such a cool song.
I love
Probably
that
my
song.
favourite off the new album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get any disagreement there, Matt. I think it'd be a lot of people's favourite song of
Oh,
Bodies.
yeah.
I think, I don't know, I do like Crush and Silver Tongues, but yeah, Nerve probably.
Yeah. Crush surprised me.
Mm. I was
Yeah.
bummed that I missed the thing in Collingwood too, because they were
I
doing
know.
a merch store thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was
Yeah, I saw that post. I was like, oh, no.
can't be in two places at once. Well, you can, but it's not very easy to do.
Oh,
No.
no. God, no.
Also, I would have had to leave Warragul at like probably 2:30, and I'm like, I don't want to be out that early and then getting home at 2:30
Not
in the
worth.
morning.
Not worth.
Way.
Uh, how did you come up with the band name Glow?
Well, that's another Rick and Josh messing around thing. They were trying to
Yeah.
just I know they were just trying to come up with something that's like, short, snappy, one word that can like get the attention of a potential listener without A, sounding too corny, and B, not giving too much hint into what kind of music the band is going to be making. Because if you hear the word glow, that could mean fucking anything in terms of that could be any genre on the planet you can think of. So it's a nice bit of ambiguous that ooh, I wonder what they could be. You kind of feel the need to check the band out just to see what it is more than anything else. And it's very good, nice and catchy in that sense. Because you see, Glow is opening for this huge band, and you're like, oh, I've never heard of them. They might be a bit softer or a bit harder or whatever, and you go in and check us out. And it's like, wow, this is not what I was expecting at all, but this is still fucking cool. I'm going to come early. And it makes it a lot easier to, pull in new crowds from that.
Because when I first heard the name Glow, and Glow I thought was going to be something like house music, dance, dubstep sort of thing. Because when I think of Glow, I think of rave parties, but not even close
Yeah,
to
no,
that.
that's fair. Absolutely not. Which is why it's like a check us out. You don't know what you're going to come up with.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of music. I mean, like, if you get a name that sounds like it's going to be heavy or it's going to be a punk rock band, people go to that thinking, oh, this is going to be a thrash metal band, this is going to be a metalcore band. But if you
You
get a
kind of know
name,
what you're getting yourself into.
yeah, but if
Yeah.
you get a name like, as Matt said with Glow, that could be any style of music on the planet, really.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of got that, yeah, that.
if you haven't seen
I was just going
Glow,
to say it's kind of got that ambiguousness to it that's like, check us out because you don't know what you're going to come up against. And I've said this like 3 times already, but that's the kind of vibe that they were going for.
well, if you haven't seen Glow, make sure you do get to see them. I've actually seen Glow twice. I saw you guys with Haraway and Vilify last year. And was that Bit
At
of
the Curtain, that
Kind?
was a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of kind as well.
And then obviously
Mate.
2 Fridays ago.
Both great shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember walking away from that Haraway gig because I'd seen only 2 of the bands. I'd seen Haraway and Vilify. I just remember walking away from that show. I'm just like, because I'd never been to the Curtain before, I'm like, this has been a fucking awesome night. Like, all bands
Yeah.
have killed it.
Yeah.
You know what's not awesome? Loading a guitar cab up those stairs with the curve around them.
Yeah.
Horrible. Horrible.
I think you would speak for many people there, Matt. I think a lot of people just don't like venues with stairs, and unfortunately in Melbourne.
See, I like the vibe of venues with stairs because it's kind of like a little exclusive thing. You got to go around the corner and up. But loading in and loading out, fuck that. Give me a quad cortex any day of the week. I'll just bring that on stage with me. Problem solved.
Well, unfortunately, some of the best venues in Melbourne do have stairs. I've just realised Bendy, Tote.
Yeah.
Stay Gold and
Yeah, a lot of the
Bergie
good
do,
ones do.
but yeah, they don't really need. I don't know how you do stairs at, well, especially Bergie. That's yeah. I don't think you could you? It's really
I
just
don't
on
think
the
so. I
line.
think there's something. I think there's something above the Bergie anyway. There must be someone's house or something up there.
Just have a house party above it. Just
Yeah, just
That'd
listen to the music. Direct wire straight into your speakers from downstairs. Problem solved.
That'd be so good.
oh,
God, that
oh,
would go so hard. Living above like a metal venue. Like you'd hate yourself every Friday night because you wouldn't be able to sleep or do anything. But you could just go downstairs. So
Yeah, sucks if you got work the next day.
oof, don't work on a Saturday. Not worth.
where was it
Yeah.
in? Oh, it was not Volta, Easton in Ballarat that had the upstairs. Like it was like a hostel,
Yeah.
and then downstairs was live music. And I'm like, if I'm gonna stay anywhere, I'm probably not gonna stay at the Easton because I would
God,
not get
no.
any sleep.
Depends what kind of night you're having.
I guess if you don't have to work the next day or you feel like partying, then obviously it's the place to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you need a good night's sleep after a show,
But just on that point about living above venues or next door to it, I understand people don't like loud noise after a certain time, but and I've got to be careful how I say this. If you move into the block of apartments or next to the place after
mm,
the venue's been there for so long, you
mm.
can't really whinge and complain
you
about it.
you kind of know what
Why?
you're getting into at that point. Like, if you're moving next to a venue, then you're going to have noise. It's just a part of life. You don't really, have that much leeway unless they're actively breaking laws, as far as I'm concerned. Because, like,
That's
you can
pretty.
complain all
Yeah.
you want, but, like, why would you, given that you purchased, I don't know, you purchased this apartment or this house next to this venue with this history? And it's like, well, why are you having a sook about it?
But I mean, and also it's a Friday and a Saturday night. Like I understand during the
Hmm.
week, absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
because people have to work. People probably have kids that need to get to sleep at a certain time. But it's a Friday or
Oh, yeah.
Saturday night. Just get over it, literally.
Hmm. No, absolutely.
I have to put up with it with my neighbours. So
My neighbours are quiet as a mouse. You never hear a peep out of them. Sometimes they're not even
Oh, there
home.
you
I'm
go.
thinking, am I the only one that actually rents this unit block or something?
sometimes I feel like they're getting back at me because I play guitar too loud. Like, yeah, fair enough.
Should I run out a ex neighbour? I'm going to do this, and he probably won't watch this, but I actually got a noise complaint because when I was doing the audio podcast, he messaged the real estate that I'm through and saying my podcasts were too loud.
That is wild.
Oh, Jesus. What do you mean podcast is too loud? That's not how it works.
And I just said, mate, really,
Oh,
like,
Christ.
this was at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. I'm like, mate, get over yourself.
That's
Oh,
ridiculous.
Christ.
But I don't know. He didn't last long, so he probably got sick of hearing me.
He left. Now he doesn't have to deal with the podcast anymore. It's fine.
No, I don't know how he'd feel if he saw me doing the WebEx one because I reckon I'm louder on this than I was on the audio one. But
Wow. He's not here now. That's what matters, right?
no, and I didn't name drop the real estate or him, so there's no defamation cases coming my way,
Nothing
thankfully.
dodgy.
Uh, all right. What has the response been like for "And All That We Are Is Nothing We Dreamed Of"?
So good.
God,
So
Josh loves his wordy titles, doesn't he?
he does.
He wanted to do I'm not going to reveal too much about the next EP, but the next EP he also wanted to have a very wordy title. And I like wordy titles, but like, as you know, it took you 10 seconds to try and read out the name. Like, it doesn't roll off the tongue very nicely. So we've shortened it down this time for a shorter version of what we originally had. So
Yeah.
we won't have to worry about the wordiness this time.
And spoiler alert, it is a great title.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds so cool.
I'm
So you just have
keen.
to keep an ear out.
Well, it seems to be the year for dropping new music, 2025. I said that about 2024, but this year's even bigger.
We've had some
Yep.
crazy releases this year already, and we're hoping to, we're hoping to be a part of that at some point.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very rare occasion. Sam has to look down at his paper to say what has the response been like for the EP or album, because I'm like, can I read it out without actually looking down
Without
at a
messing
piece
it
of
up.
paper?
I don't think I could do it, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, no.
I probably would have had the we never dreamed of part. I probably would have known pretty, but the whole and all that we are is not. Yeah, that part would have just stumped me.
Jackson, you
Yep.
were in the band when the EP dropped, right? Because I wasn't yet. I joined a couple
Yeah.
months after the EP dropped, so you can talk about this more than I can.
Yeah, so I actually joined the band right before the album released. So I got, I had to learn everything, same as you, Matt, basically within a month, 2 months. So that was fun. And yeah, my first show that I played with them was the release show. And we headlined at
Kindred, right?
the Kindred Studios. Yeah. So
In
that's in
Footscray.
Yarraville.
Oh
Like
yeah,
border.
Yarraville.
Matter.
Yeah. So that was a really awesome show. And yeah, that was my first show / gig, like pretty much in Melbourne, I would say. I've done gigs here and there, but this was like, it felt proper. And it was awesome. Obviously I mucked up a few times. That's normal. But it seemed that everyone really loved it. So we played with Rise from Ashes, I think their name is.
Yes.
sick band, by the way.
Love the boys.
Who else was there?
It was like
There's
it was a whole mini fest thing, wasn't it?
Pretty much. There
It was like
four,
6 or 7 bands.
I think there was only 4 of us.
Okay.
Maybe
Was
5,
no
actually.
Pendle Hill wasn't there? I don't think.
No,
No.
we played with them at when Matt played.
No, I haven't played with Pendle Hill. That was before me. I think that was Rick's last show.
Yeah, it was Rick's last show. Yep, that's all right.
No.
But yeah, the response to the album was incredible. Like our monthly listeners jumped up to way more than they are now. We got a bunch of new listens on the songs. I think Cavalia is our top song at the moment. Not by listens. Bad Juju still holds that spot. But yeah, it's our top song. Just
Popularity wise.
So.
And it's actually Blessed Be that's the most streamed song. That's just cracked 5,000 now.
Yep.
That's
With Bad
pretty
Juju
good.
at 3. I'm just looking at it now. Blessed Be the Faithless Souls just cracked 5K. Bad
That's
Juju's
wild.
at 3.5, and Cavalia's about to crack 3. So
That's great.
Between Blessed and Bad Juju, that's over 8,000 streams. Now,
yeah, 8,500 or something.
Now, in Spotify dollars, that's not going to be a lot. We all know
Not
that.
very much at all.
Yeah, Sam,
Not at all.
zip it. Do not rant.
But the
on
numbers are
Spotify.
still numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers are still numbers at the end of the day. So
That's right. I find a lot of the time, when you're looking for new music, especially on Spotify, a lot of the time your judgment of the band is based on how many listens they have, which is pretty dumb, but that's just how it is. I find myself doing the same thing. And so I'm trying to be more objective about it now.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Just looking at how many listens and being like, yeah. Because there are so many great bands with, not many monthly listeners. So, yeah, it's a good thing to keep in mind when you're looking for new music.
And I think also Australian music, like at the moment, look, I love that people listen to bands like Parkway, Airborne, Grinspoon, Chats, Northland, In Artsway, those sorts of bands. And it's awesome to see them get exposure. But I think if people can sort of expand their Aussie taste or Aussie genre of music, I think you could find a whole lot more music. And I think there's a Facebook page called Silly Goose Community that
love Silly Goose.
Yeah,
So good.
I reckon Ethan from Amanaki, I reckon 90% of the Aussie bands or the bands that I've found have been off his New Music Fridays.
Through his New Music Friday playlist. He carries, man.
Yeah.
I fucking love that playlist.
And fuck, I love Amanaki. Pardon the language, but there is so much good music coming out of New Zealand, it's not funny to begin with. But Amanaki, I listen to that EP all the time and just like, how is this band not more well known than they already are?
Mm.
And I mean, there's also bands like Alien Weaponry out of New Zealand and In Their Image, No Life, Crooked Royals. I know Crooked Royals at the moment are sort of not releasing music and all that, but it was only, 2 years ago that
Mm.
Quarter Life Daydream dropped. So that's nearly 3 years, far out. Yeah, it doesn't feel that
Yeah.
long
Wow.
ago.
No,
But
that's
no.
wild.
Speaking of New Zealand bands, for anyone that's watching this, I will be interviewing Connor from No Life on Tuesday next week's podcast episode. So
Oh, nice. That'll be
That's sick.
sick.
yeah, so I've got to figure out a time because of course New Zealand are 2 hours ahead of Melbourne.
2 hours ahead.
So I said, "Oh,
Yeah.
what about 7 o'clock Australian time?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, might have to make
Too
it
late.
6 o'clock Australian time because." Yeah. But nah, they're awesome. I'm interested to know what this announcement they're dropping on Friday is as well. But yeah, I guess I'll find out
That'll
on
be
Friday
interesting.
or Tuesday.
Suppose you'll find out before you interview him.
Yeah,
Make for some
I hope so.
interesting conversation at least.
Maybe a new single, maybe? I don't know.
Ooh, I hope so. I
I'm
hope so.
hoping for a tour. I'd love to see them again. But they only were here
Find
in
out.
November last year with Atlas and Apartheid and a few other bands.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not to say they won't come back.
Nah.
yeah. I think. Yeah.
Oh, all right. My theory or my thoughts on and all that we are is nothing we dreamed of. I probably could have done it then without looking at a piece of paper. I still didn't. My thoughts are it's a fucking awesome EP. Like, pardon the language again. As you can tell, I've already sworn like 4 times. But no, should be super proud of the EP. It's got some absolute gems on there, and after this
Oh, yeah.
episode, I'm gonna go listen to it again because I want to and I can.
Awesome.
And I
That's so good.
suggest anyone after they watch this interview or beforehand, depends, go listen to it because it's awesome, and send the guys some feedback. They love it.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
All right.
Even if you think it's shit, just tell us.
Not
But
possible.
if you're gonna say that though, Matt, you've got to back it up. The
That's
person.
fine. If I get a comment on my Facebook tomorrow saying, "Oh, this EP sucks," I'll be like, "Okay,
Thanks for your feedback.
thanks for your opinion. I don't say I agree, but thanks for it anyway."
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that would flat out say an album sucks or it's shit.
No, God, no.
I
Yeah.
just, yeah. Look, there's sometimes where I say, all right, this could have been better, or it's not as good as the previous release, but it's not necessarily negative comments about the
Actively
EP.
bad, yeah.
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 But just on that last show at Nighthawks, of course, for those that were there or those that weren't there, Ollie Midson, of course, filled in on drums
Yes.
from, well, he's in Earthbound at the moment and also was in Vanity as well. Nice
Yes,
guy,
indeed.
Ollie.
Lovely bloke.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Fucking
Yep.
love him. Known him for years now. He's always been an incredible bloke and an even better drummer. So
Yes.
very happy we were able to pull him on board for the interim while we look for a permanent drummer.
Yep.
That's something Melbourne's very well known for is fill-in drummers.
The drummer shortage.
Yep. That's a worldwide thing there.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's good also, like, drums are so hard to fill though, like,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
not saying vocalists or guitarists aren't hard to fill, but to find the perfect drummer is like
Find the right drummer. Yeah.
Yeah, they've usually already got 5 or 6 bands they're in.
Yes, like Jackson Trudell before he left Loose End and Material, he was like in like 3 or 4 because Future Static as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, there is someone else I reckon that might hold up that. But I don't think I've seen him at many lately. Is David Parks, who is the drummer of Wallet Inspector. He seems to be the other
Mm.
fill-in
Okay.
drummer.
The other filling guy. Okay.
Maybe it's Ollie, Jackson, David. They're the three. If you need a fill-in drummer, you go
Us
to those
Carrying
three.
the scene.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to play the drums. If I had to play an instrument in a band, I think I'd love to play the drums because you can make as much noise as you want, and that'd really piss the
It's so
neighbours off.
yeah.
No,
I've
drumming's
actually
fun.
I've actually played for since I was 9 years old. I've played drums. I didn't stick with it too much, more than guitar at least. So that's why I'm on guitar. But it's still so good to just get on the kit sometimes and bash around. Like
Oh yeah.
there's something about it. It's just nice.
And to clear things up, Sam is not the new drummer of Glow either.
Not
Come on,
yet. Not yet.
Or not yet. So
that's
it's
the word. It could be in the work. You never know.
Watch this space. Watch the new EP.
it's just like on the back of the EP, like with the mixed by, produced by, and then it says Sam Horner on drums at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Just scribbled on.
everyone, everyone be like, Sam's never played in a band or played an instrument before, and he's playing drums on an EP. Has the world gone
It's
crazy or something?
first time for
Turns
everything.
out crazy drummer and you're just better than everyone.
Wow.
That'd be
Everyone
awesome.
thinks I've got some hidden talent that I'm not showing. Like, I work at a golf club in Warrigal, and people are like, I reckon you'd be a good chef. I'm like, no one wants to see me cook food.
Oh well, it's practice. Practice makes perfect.
Mm. Yep.
I want to
So,
see. I want to see Sam Horner drumming in a band one day.
Yep.
okay.
Make it happen, man.
You never know. Stranger things have
That's it.
happened.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like Sam appearing on TV on the Chase Australia that's no longer on YouTube, but
Yeah.
Ah,
Bugger.
unbelievable.
yes, everyone's like, "Oh, where's the episode?" I'm like, "It's been scrapped from YouTube." It's like, why? I'm like, "Yeah, the Andrew O'Keefe stuff, obviously."
Mm.
But yeah, 15 seconds of fame and then got beaten. But anyway, spoiler alert: if no one's seen the episode, it just
Well, they can't watch it anymore. So
We can't. Yeah, exactly. We can't see it anymore anyway. No one else needs to know.
Actually, funny story about that. A mate in Terralgan actually still has a VHS copy of it. He's like, "Oh, should we put this on?"
Nice.
I'm like, "No."
Nice.
He's like, "Who wants to see Sam's 15 minutes fame?" I'm like, "Please don't put it on YouTube." Oh dear. Anyway, enough about Sam's TV stints. Back to Glow. That's what everyone's watching for, not 15 minutes of fame. Which band would Glow like to be the support act for?
ooh, now
Well, we can
there's.
probably answer this individually and as a band, I think,
I'll get up Doug's answers for you because he is.
because Doug briefed us for this one.
Yep. Now where is it? Is the question? Right there.
Doug's our vocalist, by the way. He couldn't make it because he works morning shifts, so he's already asleep by now. Otherwise, he would have been here with us.
It's all good. It's whoever can join. That's my motto.
Okay, so Doug has said he would like to be a support act for Spite or Chunk No Captain Chunk. So those are two pretty good.
Yeah.
It's sort of the two I wasn't expecting either.
I know when he sent the message, I'm like, I knew Spite was going to be in there.
Spite didn't
The other
surprise
one
me.
I was like surprised about.
But yeah,
But
Chunk.
both great bands.
Yeah. I love that title for a band too. Chunk, Captain
I
O.
know.
that,
Yeah.
uh, no, but
Well,
both
Matt, what do you
pretty.
reckon?
Both pretty good bands. For me, I would love to open for Alpha Wolf one day. So
Stomp.
I've always been a massive Alpha Wolf sweat.
Yeah.
Loud and proud about it as well. I've always loved Alpha Wolf, always loved the boys. And one day I'd love to open for them. That'd be fucking sick. Um, Thornhill would also be pretty cool to open up for. I know there's
My
like,
other answer.
I keep stealing yours. And I don't know. I think another one I'd like to play with one day is Terminal Sleep, because I saw them a little while ago, and they were just incredible. And I know they're like a bit more hardcore, whereas we're a bit more soft and a bit metalcore-y, but I think that'd still make it a really cool bill. I'd love to open for them one day as well.
Absolutely.
I was
Yeah.
Devo. I missed that show in Narre Warren that Terminal Sleep played with.
That's the one I went to. That's the one I went to. Void of Vision.
Last
Void of
Martyr.
Vision, Gloom. Yeah, Void of Vision, Gloom, Terminal Sleep, Loon, and The Last Martyr. That was an incredible show.
That's a fucking insane
I wish I
lineup.
could have gone to that.
Insane lineup. At a nightclub, no less.
That's a
It
great
was a
lineup.
ridiculous show.
I don't know
That's
who
so
I'd want to
good.
see the most on that lineup. They're all fucking good bands. Actually.
Exactly.
Probably Gloom. Only because,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, like, when I heard Jericho Protocol that was released last year, and also adding Jesse from Silverfang and Josh from Earthcaller into the band, just Jesse's fucking insane as a guitarist.
They played that song. They debuted that song live at that show with that new lineup. Incredible, just incredible performance.
Now, Jericho Protocol, I'll probably get the names wrong of who actually features in that song, in that chorus. I know it's Steph from Silverfang, Sarah from Ultraviolet, and then I've gone completely blank who the other two are, which is really bad.
Those are the only two I know as well.
Yeah.
Is it the person from not Stand Atlantic, that other pop punk band? Not yours truly, vocalist, was it? No.
I don't know though. Yeah, Stephanie and the one from Ultraviolet are the only two I remember.
Yeah. No. And if I look up on Google, this meeting will end. So I don't want to do that.
No, but that show
well.
and that song as well, just incredible. Gloom is another one I'd love to open for one day.
They played in Traralgon a few years. That was an insane lineup, actually. A few years ago,
think so.
It was Ocean Sleeper, Atlas, Outloved, Clay J, and Gloom. And I was just like, "Fuck, this is just."
That's a stacked lineup.
My first gig that I went to in Melbourne, actually, Atlas was playing along with Liar.
Yeah.
Which I'm good mates with the drummer's brother. it's like a family tree to get there, but yeah, like they're great guys. Love them. So that was an awesome show too. Like first band experience and like live, like for the music that I actually like, and it was that. It was pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I don't even know what my first gig was.
You know, actually, who I would love to open for is Bill Murray, the band.
Ooh.
It would be an incredible
That'd
experience.
be cool. That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Also, like, obviously, Sleep Token would be awesome to open for. Invent Animate. I'm actually... Quick plug. I'm actually wearing their hoodie right now.
Nice.
They're having a one. Great album, great band, great merch.
Plug, Invent, Animate all you want. What am I wearing? Red Hook, I think. I can't see what I'm wearing on my shirt. Could have been any. Oh, probably should have worn a Glow shirt if I had one, because you generally wear the band you're interviewing, Sam.
Yeah, Matt's got the key and jumper on. I said,
Now,
Bit of progressive metal.
Nah,
heck
nice.
yeah.
All different styles of music. I'm huge.
Exactly.
Love Invent Animate, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the next question, and this I'm going to answer, but this is going to be a fucking hard one, is 5 favourite fellow Victorian bands.
So Doug's actually answered this
Doug's
one.
given us an answer on his behalf as well, but I'll answer mine and you can answer yours as well.
I'll say what Doug's is. Where is it? Okay, so we've got 1, Nicolas Cage Fighter.
Fuck yeah.
2, Earthbound. We got Earthbound, Gravemind, Fall Weather, and Identity Error.
That's a pretty good
So those are all
five.
really good bands.
Ooh.
Some of those are mine as well.
Sick
Yeah,
line.
I got a couple similar ones in that list as well.
Yeah. Well, you can go ahead, Matt.
Alpha Wolf, obviously, and I know they come from Tassie, but in essence they're a Melbourne band, so close enough. Yeah, Alpha Wolf, Thornhill, Cage Fighter. Cage Fighter are fucking sick. I love Cage Fighter. Furious George.
Yeah.
Fucking love Furious George. And Identity Error as well.
Furious. Yeah, they are insane live. For anyone that has not seen Furious George live, they are fucking awesome. And make sure they're playing Dead by Dawn, the gig at Bendigo Hotel with Dead Weight and Storm the Crown, I Choose Violence, etc. That's going to be a fucking sick night.
That's going to be crazy.
Hell yeah.
And apparently...
Yeah, I think mine...
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, mate.
No, you go, Jackson.
I was just going to say, I think my bands would probably be Thornhill, for sure. Void of Vision, even though, they've broken up now, they're breaking up. It's sad to see, but still one of my top 5 favourite Vic bands. And yeah, definitely, Gravemind, definitely up there as well, because, getting into metal, I listened to them a bunch too, because my mate, put me onto them and all that, and I was like, oh, these guys are sick. How many was that? 3?
I think so. I think that was
3. And yeah, Earthbound definitely are really great. Love those guys. And probably Liar as well. Just their live stuff, and Dylan's vocals are insane.
Yeah.
Their newest release, I think it was, insane vocals. I just can't emphasize it enough. It's crazy.
Of course, Connor, well, actually, a couple of them have collaborated on songs too. Con collaborated on Catacombs by Lost Beneath. Dylan actually collaborated on Move by a mate's band, Atriox, as well. They've done heaps of features.
Yeah, Atriox.
That's awesome, yeah.
Now my 5. Oh, shit. Where do I start? And if I leave out anyone, I'm in a bit of trouble, aren't I? Yeah, good luck, Sam, here. Dead Weight have to be.
Yeah.
Right at the moment, I'd probably say Dead Weight, Furious, Glow, Ocean Sleeper, and then there's a whole list of what could be 5.
Anything that you could fill in for spot number 5.
Probably North Road. I'm really digging North Road with Dan from Ironstone. I think since Dan's joined North Road, I feel like they've become a better band. And that's no disrespect to Lucas and that. It's just, I think Dan's vocals in North Road and at the moment Hereafter as well have just been fucking insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Saving Phase, Vault Hill, Identity Error, Nicolas Cage Fighter, it could have been any number.
There's so many you could add. It's really hard to just pick 5.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's going
Now,
to watch this. Oh,
real quick, sorry, I'm just gonna have to leave for 5 seconds,
yeah,
so
no,
I'll be back.
all good.
Run,
Real,
run.
But
I am.
that's the beauty of WebEx is that Jackson's
Exactly.
video's still there, but he's just
On
disappeared
one
for
side,
5
I'm on the other. You
seconds.
can just cut me in, move me in for a little bit, and he'll be back any second already.
Yeah, nah, it's all good. Oh, now the video's back. Fuck, have we been talking for an hour already?
Almost, Jesus. Yeah, we have.
All right, yeah. I've just realised how quick these interviews generally go.
They go when you're not paying attention to the time.
Nah, but I'm thinking because it is not that it bothers me because I don't have to work tomorrow, but
Hmm.
yeah, probably another 15, 20 minutes, and then I think we've got
Works for
enough
me. Works for me.
quality.
Even another half an hour. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't work until 9 tomorrow, obviously, so I can stay up. I'm not
I reckon
fussed.
we've got enough for probably another 25 minutes, half an hour easily. Well, we
Sounds
found
pretty good to
enough to
me.
talk about in an hour, so
Exactly. We've been going for an hour and we've probably only got through half the question.
oh, we'll go through 5 of them. That's nearly half.
There we go. That's a good start. And he's
Uh,
back.
all
Nice.
right. Well,
I'm back.
oh no, we've got through 6 actually. Sam can't count. Surprise, surprise. Um, really, like I said through all of them, but I've really actually only got 2 questions left because I feel like we've talked about so much in the first
Hmm.
hour that we've covered so
Yeah.
many bases.
Hmm.
And I was saying to Matt Jackson also, I can't believe it's been an hour. It feels like we started about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is weird. It does feel like we just started.
And like, I don't know, it happens all the time. I say, is there going to be an interview that just doesn't go fast, but they keep going faster every one I do. So I don't
Yeah.
There you go.
know.
You get into the rhythm.
Yeah,
Look,
Get into
time
the rhythm
flies
of
when
it.
it's fun, you know?
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly right. And this is fun. And I really, I don't know if this will happen in 2025 again or 2026, but I'd love to have Glow back on in the future.
Oh,
We got
we'd
to get
love to.
we got to get the rest of the boys on next time.
Yeah, we'd love to come on as a full band. Like that'd be great.
Because this was going to actually happen, this interview, but I think I scheduled it with Doug for June, and then it's
Something
actually
like that,
been
yeah.
brought forward 2 months, which doesn't bother me.
Mm.
It's just
Doesn't bother me either, but we definitely got to get once the new EP is getting ready to release, once we've started putting out singles and stuff, definitely would love to come back, all of us, and
Yeah,
talk some shit about the new EP.
and reveal the
absolutely.
title as well.
Yes, yes.
And
We
hopefully
can reveal
Sam,
what it was going to be.
hopefully Sam doesn't have to look down at his piece of paper for the
No,
new
no, no.
EP.
You won't have to. The new
No.
EP title's only 2 words, but it could have been like 10. So
I mean, there's some Aussie bands out there and some international bands that I know that have very long song titles or album titles and some
oh yeah,
tongue twisters
Yeah.
as well out there. But yeah, most of the Australian bands, it's easy to announce their names
nice
or.
and succinct, nice and short.
Mm, but some bands have the upside down V,
Yeah.
which I'm
Yeah, true.
mistaken for a V, and it's actually an A, like Atlas and Signals. Well,
Atlas.
Signals now don't.
They've changed theirs, haven't
Yeah,
they? Yeah.
they've put AUS at the end, so it's technically just Atlas now. So,
Yeah.
all right. Where do you see Glow in 5 years' time?
Jackson, you want to start with this one, or do you want me to?
Sure thing. Honestly, like this is sort of on this next release. I'm banking on this. You know, I'm thinking it's gonna go pretty up there. Not to brag about it or anything, but I genuinely think it's a great album.
Or EP.
And
It's a big step up from
yeah,
the last EP. So
it is definitely a big step up. And if we can continue that trajectory of that's like that amount of a step up each album, dude.
We're going to
Like
be
I think we're gonna be
going crazy in 5 years. If
pretty
if
up
the
there.
if the rate of change stays the same, it's going
Yeah,
to be crazy in a few years.
yeah, and I'm especially looking forward to like in the past EP. You know, Josh has done most of the work in sort of the songwriting
Mm.
stuff, and I'm really looking forward to all of us. You know, because we're so
Getting
far
our
apart,
hands dirty.
it's kind of hard to all get together and come up with stuff. But I'm really looking forward to collaborating more and more as the years go by. Um, yeah,
Oh yeah.
so yeah, I think we'll be up there.
That's a
As for
good
me,
dream to have.
sorry, sorry for cutting
No,
you
no,
off.
no, you're right, man.
As for As for me, I'd love to run up some big tours in the next 5 years. Like,
Yeah,
nothing, stupid, crazy or anything, but I want to, at the very least, tour the East Coast, do a bunch of little shows here and there, doing some numbers, play with some bigger bands. Obviously, Alpha Wolf is top level, dream tier, but there are so many bands between us and Alpha Wolf size wise that we could play with that'd be fucking awesome to play with. So
absolutely.
And of course, Alpha Wolf doing a tour of Australia um, in the
yes,
next
they just
month or
announced their
so.
local supports. Melting
Yes,
Right.
is doing all the Vic shows, which is going to be fucking awesome.
that's good to
Mm.
see for Melting because relatively new band and they've had a huge 6 months. They also played for Thornhill at Revolver,
Mm.
I think it was, with
Yeah, I think it
Signals.
was at Revs. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was Revs. Yeah,
They played with Heists as well and Day Saints, so they're getting their name out
yeah, they've
there.
been doing numbers.
Good bunch of guys too. I saw them on Saturday at the Archangel release show and was chatting to Tom and Alex.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice.
I've never met them or anything, but they all seem lovely. So
Mm. And I think I think Thornhill, that's huge for any band, whether you're a small band, an up and coming band, or relatively well known, to be asked to open for Thornhill and Alpha Wolf in less than 6 months is a
who
fucking
are doing the
huge
numbers that they
achievement.
do? Both bands doing like 500,000 to 1 million monthly. It's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, that is wild.
And Zuko and Malevolence are the other two bands on the tour with Alpha Wolf, obviously.
Malevolence are really cool. Zuko, I'd not heard of until they got announced for the tour, and I've checked them out. They seem pretty cool. So
They're great. Yeah.
I saw them,
pretty keen to see those bands.
yeah.
Mm.
I think I saw, where did I see Zuko? I saw him at the Toad upstairs with Heists and Saving Face last year, and that was
Okay,
pretty sick show. I'm not a
fuck yeah,
massive fan of the Toad, but that changed my mind all of a sudden.
Yeah.
nice.
Actually,
So,
come to
are either of you going to that Alpha Wolf, any of those Alpha Wolf shows when they're here next month?
Not too sure at the moment because the Nari Warren one I think sold
Just
out
sold out a
now.
couple of days ago. I'm thinking I
Yeah.
Maybe.
might go to the Castlemaine one. It's a bit of a trek, and obviously even more of a trek for you guys. But that's what I'm thinking of going to that one. So
I'm thinking maybe the
Nice.
Geelong one because it's a Thursday, but then I realised it's the same
mm.
week as Ocean Sleeper and Heists at 170. I'm like, oh, two in 2 days. I'm like, oh.
Tempting.
Push it.
But actually, May's looking really busy at the moment because there's
May's looking stacked.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fame on Fire as well, and yeah, Ocean Sleep and Heist, Dead by Daylight. There's just so many happening in like 2 weeks of May. It's just like, here we go.
It's gonna be nuts.
Yep.
But it's good that all these bands are touring though, because as mentioned at the start, due to COVID, we couldn't tour or play gigs. So it's good to see these bands playing
Yeah.
tours, shows, regional and cities.
Yep.
What that might be an added question. What gigs have you got lined up, either with Glow or going to?
Well,
Nothing. as in terms of our band, nothing at the moment. We're all since we did the show at the Curtain, we've kind of just been not sitting on our hands, but since then we went and recorded the EP and got it all ready and stuff. And obviously because Sanford left, we've had this whole thing of needing to find a drummer, so we've kind of just been laying low for a little bit. But now that the EP's getting ready to go, obviously we played the show a couple of weeks ago. We're hoping to start kicking off some more shows, starting getting ready to release the music. So hopefully in another month or two we'll be getting ready to play another show, but nothing
Yeah.
lined up at the moment.
But I'll tell you what, I am so keen to play some new songs.
Oh yeah.
Little taste of those 2 songs that we did last show. It was so fun to play.
Yeah, we debuted 2 new songs live at the Total Buzzkill show.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
That was great. Yeah.
They absolutely killed it. Total Buzzkill. Not
They
no
were
pun
incredible.
intended. Sorry, by the way.
It's all right. They
Yeah,
weren't a total buzzkill.
I was annoyed I didn't get to see them. I had to leave early,
which
kind of sucked.
That's right.
But
I was able to stick around. They were all lovely. Both Deadweight and you were there for Deadweight.
Yeah, I talked to all the guys
Yeah.
before the show anyway, which was good. But
I've played with Deadweight before in my last band.
Mm.
Incredible then and incredible now. And then Total Buzzkill, amazing performance. Killed it. New singles, fucking sick. And apparently they killed it in Byron last weekend as well. So they're doing fucking numbers.
And they've had a busy 2 weeks or so, because after your gig at Night Hawks, they played Arkfest up in Albury as well.
Yeah, fucking Albury the next day.
That was a sick lineup. I wish I could have gone if it was closer, obviously, because they had Space Goat, Rise from Ashes, Archangel, Total Buzzkill, Summer Trouble, so many other
Yeah, it was a
great
pretty
bands.
nutty lineup.
But obviously, I had Atlas and Signals at Stay Gold the night after, and Albury and Stay Gold aren't exactly nearby.
No, God, no.
I'll tell you what though, Aubrey got to play on a tour.
Yeah, I'd love to play a Beer Deluxe one day.
My uncle is actually a musician. He plays at Beer Deluxe like a fair bit.
Fuck yeah.
And like I was born up in that area, so pretty much all my family's up there. So I go up there every now and again, and it's such a great spot to like for music. There's not much coming out of it, but every time a band posts their tour like dates and like places, there's always Aubrey on there. So
it's kind of like that little bridging gap between Sydney and Melbourne, because not like amusingly, no one plays in Canberra anymore. And Albury's kind of obviously a little bit closer to Melbourne, but it's still kind of in that middle ground. Yeah. And so many bands play there, and I want to obviously want to play Beer Deluxe one day, but also want to go there and see like a big fucking lineup there in like this comparatively small venue.
Yeah. What's it? There's that hotel in Albury that shows are played at as well, and I've completely forgotten the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's the one that Arkfest was on, because that's the other venue. I just can't remember what it's called.
It's not Solon's or something. Maybe I'm getting my.
I don't remember.
Soden's. There's Soden's.
Yeah, that's the one. I knew it started with S. I just got the letters wrong.
Yeah.
You're pretty close.
Just a D instead of an L, but yeah. Strike one. Bow bow. No, and Total Buzzkill, I mean, I actually, at the beer garden, got talking to Harley and Will, and Will's like, once Harley starts drinking, he'll want to chat to you and not leave you. I'm like, thanks, Will. It's just like, yeah. And look,
baiting out your vocalist.
Lovely guys, Will and Harley. Please don't feel like I'm
all incredible blokes. Yeah,
I'm not. It's just something about interstate bands that just want to chat, and I don't know if it's because they're from interstate and want to make
They
themselves
don't
known
they
in
don't get
Melbourne.
they got to
Yeah.
make those connections because they don't get to come down here very often.
Mm. And I mean, I got stuck chatting to Simon and James outside Max Watts a year or so ago when they played with Caskets. It was like a 5 minute chat turned into nearly 15, of course. And
No.
again, not attacking the guys, it was sort of like I was trying to sort of get home and they're just wanting to chat. I'm like, I actually have to get the
Having a lovely
train.
chat with you and like, my train's just down the road, bro.
Thankfully, for those that don't know where Max Watts is probably a 8 minute walk to Flinders Street if on a good
Yeah, it's right in the
run.
centre of the city.
Only the
Yeah.
Forum probably would be closer to Flinders Street than Max Watts. It's probably much of a muchness, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
But I guess with Forum you got to get across the traffic lights,
Mm.
which is a bit of a
Oh
pain.
yeah, well
But
that's one we didn't mention. That I'm probably gonna go to that Void Vision final show if I can get tickets. If I can get tickets, I want to go to that Void Vision show
is
because
that
that's going to sell out like that.
Northcote
Void
or?
Vision's final show. No, that's at the Forum.
Oh wow,
Their
shit!
the last show, the one that they did just before, like a couple months ago now, was at Northcote.
Yeah,
But this is their final ever show. It's at the Forum. Going to be at the Forum, which is going to be fucking nuts.
I love the
Yeah, I'm still
Forum.
deciding whether I go or not. Like, I want to, obviously, but yeah.
I'm going to try and get tickets, but if I don't, I'm honestly not going to be surprised because they're going to go like that. Because big Melbourne band final show at the Forum. Everyone's
Yeah.
going to want to be there.
And I
Yeah.
love what Jack Burgeon's doing with Core on Triple J as well.
Yeah,
That's
Yes.
sick.
I've jumped in for I think a couple episodes now, just listening while I'm doing other stuff. It's been fucking sick.
Yeah, no,
I'll still
I'm
listen
not a
to it.
massive Triple J fan, but when I heard Jack Burgeon was doing the core, I'm like, I'm
You have
listening.
to. You can't not.
Which, funnily enough, is starting in about. Oh, actually, it's probably started. Whoops.
It start at 9 or 9:30. I can't actually remember.
Well, either way, we've missed about 10 minutes.
Either way, we've missed the start, but that's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
there's always next week. Or they might have
Exactly.
a mini player where you could do follow-up episodes like iView and that, but I don't know. Just a self-plug for a radio station on here. All right, last question. What advice would you give to bands and artists starting out?
Oh. Well, you can answer Doug's. You can give us Doug's answer, but
did he?
I think he did one. But I've probably got
Yeah, he
I've
did.
probably got a bit of an answer for myself as well.
Okay. So Doug has said to have a game plan and get everything sorted beforehand. So it's going to be expensive, but you'll thank yourself in the future. That's what he said.
Which I 100% agree with.
Very,
Absolutely.
very sound advice there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to be cheap. Starting a band, and even just being part of a band, but starting a band especially is not cheap. And obviously there's going to be a lot of upfront costs that you just have to front before you can start pulling money in. Because obviously, you can't sell merch until you print merch, and you got to pay for the merch to be printed. You can't get streams for music until you pay for an EP or a single or whatever. And each
And
of
more
those,
And
or a
more often
video, yeah,
than not, goes straight back into it. Like
exactly.
usually a lot.
You're not going to really be seeing profits until you're actually doing numbers. And a lot of, what's it called? A lot of working in a band is just putting money in and letting the band grow itself for who knows how long it could be.
Yeah.
Like I won't touch too much on like Inflicted and the whole financial situation, but obviously we all sunk many thousands of dollars into it, and I got maybe $100 out at the end when we all split up, plus merch and stuff. But that's thousands of dollars that I'm never going to get back, and it's not like I lost thousands of dollars, because that's an experience I had that I would do again and am doing again for Glow. It's not like I'm,
Yeah.
wasting money. It's I'm putting money into my passion. It's completely different, and it's definitely expensive. But if you're with the right people doing it and you're enjoying it, then it's totally going to be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And sometimes it's not about the fame and the fortune, it's about if you're in it for the right reason, that you're loving what you do, and it's what you're passionate about, then that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
if I wanted to be in the music industry to, become famous or whatever, I'd just sit on my ass at home grinding out, producing beats and whatever and selling it for $50 a pop, grinding that out until one of them goes big. But I do
Yeah.
metal music not because not because it's going to make me big or whatever, but it's because I love it and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's the passion behind it. You've got to have the if you're starting a band on your own, you've got to have the passion to do what you want to do, and you've got to have the drive behind yourself to do it. That's the most important thing. And obviously, being prepared, talking to other people that have done it before, and getting their words. Not just us. Who Jackson and I. This is Jackson's first band. I've been in a band before, but it's fairly small time. So
Yeah.
talk to bigger people, see how they're running it up, take inspiration from what they're doing, and create your own thing.
Very
Mm-hmm.
sound advice, and there's some, and also Jackson, in your neck of the woods, there's plenty of people to talk to that have
Yeah.
either become big or about to take the
Yeah. I
scene.
did want to touch on that. Is connections are very important.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
like probably the most important thing when you're up and coming, because obviously there's the side of people listening to your music, and that's what's making it grow.
mm,
But the connections are just as important, if not more
mm,
important, like in terms of growing a band.
mm.
Because yeah, that's the thing that gets you the big shows and the all the stuff that you want is the connections with other people, and friendships and stuff that you make as you're growing a band. Which I really value, like those sort of friendships as well.
And it,
Yeah,
also, like, if you're thinking that everything's just going to land in your lap and you won't have to do anything to get these big headline shows or on big
You've got to
bills
get
with bands, it's not
you've
going
got
to
to get
happen.
real fucking lucky.
yeah,
You basically get one shot to do that. You've got to get your killer single, and you've got to push it the fuck out, because even then it's not going to land in your lap. You've still got to find the right audience. You
and
could have
music.
the best song in the world, and
Yeah,
then you have three people listen to it because you're not presenting it to the right people. You're not presenting it to the people that are going to find it and be able to help push you bigger.
yeah. Music has become more of it's it's not really music anymore in the sense that it was 20 years ago. It's social
Mm.
media now. Like you don't get big if you don't have a social media
No,
presence, so to speak.
you've got to be a
So
marketer just as much as a
yeah,
musician.
there's like five other different jobs now that you have to do,
Mm.
as well as being the musician. So it's hard, but it's worth it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, very sound advice from Doug, Jackson, and Matt. And yeah, it's, and I think also uh, it's interesting because I had not a similar situation, but I won't go too much into it. But like the passion and love after what happened with the audio podcast had
Mm.
sort of dropped off a bit, and someone said to me, "Do you still want to do what you have been doing?" And I said, "I do, but I'm finding it harder to think
Hard,
of
yeah.
what I can do." And then they said, maybe the best piece of advice I could give you is take a break, 2, 3 months, come back and think about it. And that's where this came about, because it might have just been that I needed that break.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
It helps a lot of the time.
Because I looked back on it and I'm like, I was doing 3 or 4 episodes a week. 9 times out of 10 interviews on top of that. There was just so much
Mm.
preparation that went into it. I was probably burning myself
Yeah.
out in some way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
The grind is real, and it can fuck you up pretty hard if you're not careful of it.
Yeah. You got to know when
But
to
if you're
take break.
doing it, you got to know when to take breaks, and you got to be doing it for the right reasons. Like I mentioned before, if you're just trying to
Yeah.
say, for example, with your podcast, if you were just doing it for the money and just grinding and grinding, then it wouldn't be your passion anymore. It'd just be a second job at that point.
And with YouTube and views are somewhat important, but at this moment, I've asked myself, am I worried about the views or am I having a great time, happy and loving what I'm doing? And I'm obviously as happy as I have been, and this is so much fun. I'm happy. I feel more relaxed. I'm doing 1 episode a week, which is so much more manageable, and
Oh yeah,
I still feel like I'm doing my part to support the scene, maybe even more than I was before.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's no
So,
point burning yourself out and then you're not able to do anything.
mm,
Yeah.
It's a scary trap that anyone can fall into. I mean, I fall into it all the time. I'm just doing thing after thing after thing, and then I go, oh fuck, I need to stop, take back, step back, let me reset, handle my shit again, and then we can get back to doing what I love.
Yeah. Same for me.
no. So, anyone listening, don't burn yourself out because in the
That's a
end,
big one.
you'll do more damage to yourself, or the passion will disappear, or the love. If you need to take a step back, even take a break, no one will think any differently.
Absolutely.
Well, that's just about every, or most of the questions, 2/3 of the questions that Sam has asked Jackson and Matt. Now the tables are turned for the last part. Matt and Jackson have the floor if they want to ask
All
anything.
right, Jackson, have you got anything? Because I've got one. I've got one I can fire off if you don't have anything.
You can, go ahead and say what you want to say.
Well, Sam, obviously you've been pretty big going to gigs. Did what 50 something in a year, 40 something the year before. One, do you see yourself ever attempting to either do that again or beat that? And two, what kind of effort does that obviously take you? Obviously, living in regional Victoria, how difficult is it for you to come up week after week after week just to, support the scene, see the bands you love to see, that kind of thing?
I really love that question, Matt. And to be honest, I've never actually been asked that second part of the question about the how much effort it goes into it. And I don't want to sound like a broken record because I mean Jackson lives further from Melbourne than I do, firstly.
It's
But
like half an hour difference.
yeah, but I mean 2 hours
Further's
compared to
further,
an
but
hour and a half, Jackson. I mean,
True.
the
um,
difference is Jackson's doing it once a month, whereas you'd be doing it once a week.
and Jackson
Exactly.
probably drives as well, I would assume.
Exactly.
There's the big difference. Yeah, see, the effort in getting to gigs, and a lot of people probably don't see this, but I rely heavily on public transport, obviously, because I don't drive. So
Mm.
generally, I leave Warragul probably about 3 o'clock for a 7 o'clock show and get home about
Shit.
1 a.m.,
Yeah.
sometimes later. But I
Yeah.
come back to the thing that I don't give a rat's ass about the travel or the time of getting home at because I love going to live music. A lot of these bands I
Yeah.
see, I've interviewed, I've supported, and
Mm.
I'm one of those people that don't like to watch things on news stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be in person, see it yourself, have the experience for yourself.
And if I don't, even if
Yeah.
I don't talk to anyone at the gig, I just go away thinking, I was there. If someone asked, "Oh,
Mm.
did you go and see that gig?" I could say, "Yep, went and saw it."
Yeah, I was there and it was fucking
Yep.
awesome.
Now, it doesn't happen very often that I don't talk to at least one of the
Mm.
bands playing. It has happened, and funnily enough, that was probably the best fucking show I've ever been to. But I don't know how that even works. But I think it was just because it was at a great venue, the vibe was good, all the bands killed it. It's,
Mm.
I think that's the key thing. If it's the bands are up on stage having a great time, getting the crowd involved, then it makes for a great gig.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
They've done their job then.
Yep.
Mm.
And see,
Yeah.
with Nighthawks, like, had I not talked to Total Buzzkill or Deadweight or even Glow, I would have walked away from that just saying it was a good night.
That was still a really sick show, yeah.
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 Now, Nighthawks is literally the easiest place to somewhat run into someone, obviously, because it's
Yeah.
so small. Yeah. Sam tried to get into Nighthawks without being noticed, and then Josh from Deadweight's out the front, like,
Immediately sees you sitting out the front.
Yeah. I remember you came in and everyone was like, hey,
Hey, Sam's here.
Sam.
it's like, yeah. You could do it at maybe the Bendy, you could do it at Stay Gold, but
Yeah, Stay
Nighthawks,
Gold,
no.
maybe. God, no. Not a tiny, dingy little venue like that.
Unless you go in disguise, like just wear some mask or something, but people probably still know it.
That'd be standing out more, I think.
I think so.
But the first part of the question, Matt, I don't think I could try and beat last
Beat the
year's
number.
effort of 62. That was just insane. I don't know.
62, yeah, that's the ridiculous number.
But the thing I
Good on
found
you.
is there was a lot of gigs that had two on in the day, like there'd be an afternoon gig and a night gig.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
There you go.
maybe like 6 or
If
7.
you find some of those, chain those together.
Yeah. But I
Or
remember,
even if it's like stay in Melbourne one night, go to, so that way you have to make less of a trip, then you knock out 3 or even 4, you know.
yeah,
Mm.
it does
It's
take
definitely doable, but it's the effort, obviously, because you know you have to come up, and if you don't go back down, either you go up and back twice in a weekend, or you stay in Melbourne, which is obviously fairly costly. So
Thankfully, I do have a brother in Pascoe Vale if worse came to worse. Or
there
there's
you
the
go.
night
Worst,
bus on weekends, obviously. But
Yeah.
but no, I really like that question, both parts of it.
Mm.
All right.
All right. Well, I'd probably ask, what did you like when you were younger? Did you see yourself doing this? And if not, what did you want to do
I love
when you were
that.
younger?
Oh, two
that's actually a
great
great question.
Gee, just one up Matt there, Jackson. Did I see myself doing this? I don't think I did. I think COVID, as much as I hate that word, is the reason this came about. Because
Yeah.
I used to do radio at Fred WBR in Druin, where you go into the radio station,
Mm.
play a show, and
Yeah.
do that. And then because of COVID, the station was locked down. And thanks to that dreaded word, this came about.
You start doing this.
Yep.
And I haven't looked back, really.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Would you ever go back to actually working in radio, or?
It's a question I get asked quite a bit, Matt, and I wouldn't say never, as they say. Like, at the moment, it's not on the cards, but if the right position
Okay.
came up, I'd seriously
That's fair enough.
consider it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And to answer your second part, Jackson, I don't actually know what I wanted to do when I was younger, when I grew up.
Same for me.
Like, I'd never thought I'd work in hospitality, obviously. Never thought I'd get on community radio. That were two things I never thought. Because for me, I hate the sound of my own voice. So I don't know why I ever got into radio.
No, I think you got a radio voice. It's like a
Yeah.
very voice, and it's good for radio, I reckon.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. I think you get used to it. It's like this. When I watch it back, it's just like, oh, is that how my voice sounds? And I'm like, it's just like,
That's with
whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, if people can understand what you're saying, then it can't be that bad.
That's all that really matters, right?
No. But two great questions, and both haven't actually been asked before. And I love the two-part idea. That was really cool as well. Now, if you ask me what the thing I hate about interviews the most is the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to find a way to close it, right?
I honestly hate ending an interview when it's been so good, as all have been, and this is no exception. I feel like I could chat forever, but it is getting actually pretty late. So
it is getting pretty late. It's already 10 p.m., right?
Yeah.
10 p.m.
But Matt and Jackson from Glow, it's been awesome having a chat to you both, and I'll keep supporting Glow and get to as many shows
Appreciate
when you
that.
play them.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to be back on again.
I'll have Glow and anyone back on in the future. And you will be seeing this interview very shortly. I was almost tempting to stay up late and watch it back and then upload it on YouTube.
Get ready to upload it.
Maybe not. I'll just upload it like late.
Do it in the morning. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Well,
sounds good.
Watching this, I'm like, there's nothing that's been, anything I want to edit or anything that's been, like the audio's been bad or the visual. So there's no point saying, oh, we have to do
this
good.
Again. My mic doesn't suck, so that's a start.
No. Now, the most important thing is, hopefully this will go to my files. That's the big thing.
Yes.
To reenact it.
Yes, don't press any buttons, Sam, before. But nah, Matt, Jackson, Glow, awesome. If there's people out there that haven't checked them out, check them out, watch this episode, support them. Great lads. And let's do this again, not next week, obviously, but somewhere down the track.
Once we start putting more music out again, all four of us will come back on.
All right, absolutely. I like the sound of that. Well, Matt and Jackson from Glow, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening, and we'll chat again soon.
We'll do, you two. Thank you again for having us both.
No worries.
Yeah, thank you.
Look after yourself, and I suppose we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Catches.
All right, take care.
Catch ya.
Awesome, man. See you later.
See ya.